Where are you calling from, Stuart? I see 310. What's the 310 exactly?
I'm from Maryland.
Maryland. Absolutely. Yeah. Very cool. And you a big fan of the show?
Big fan. Just started watching.
Really? How'd you find out about the show?
Twit, obviously.
Oh, you were listening to This Week in Tech, Leo Laporte. Awesome show.
Yeah.
Basically gave me my start in podcasting, sort of.
Definitely.
And more importantly, let me use the name. Not that I had to, but he was cool about it. So, you have a question for us on This Week in Startups. Go ahead, let's hear it.
Because I just noticed that all the companies that you profile and invest in are mostly websites. They're software services.
Yes.
How likely is it for somebody to entrepreneur a consumer electronics hardware company?
Wow. So this is a great question. Consumer hardware is typically very expensive, and you're going up against companies like Sony, Apple, Nokia. You know, pick your poison. I mean, it's very hard. That being said, of late, there have been some hardware companies that have made it. Something is changing in the hardware industry. It's easier to prototype something. It's easier to have something made because you have all these massive factories making for a lot of different people. In fact, Apple doesn't make their products at an Apple factory. They subcontract, right, to people in Shenzhen and all these other places. So, in recent history, we've seen two major exits. Flip, which was a venture capital-backed little tiny video camera. I don't know what they got sold for. It was maybe $500 million or $250. And Flip was, like Oprah got really crazy about it. I have two of the Flip Minnows. You just, and you say to yourself, why does this little cigarette box-sized camera become a hit? Why does it take Flip to make it? Why didn't Sony make it? Well, it had no features in it. They basically made it so it had a big red button, reverse, forward, pause, and a power button. No features. No menu. There's no menu on the thing. There's no menu button. You turn it on, you take it, that's it. There's a zoom, that's it, like digital zoom. So they had an idea. They were zigging where everybody else was zagging. They said, Sony's going to put 1,000 features. I mean, you ever get in the menu of a Sony camera? Mm-hmm. I mean, seriously, I think it looks like the periodic table when you hit it. And I think you need to have like a PhD in chemistry or something to navigate a Sony menu. There's 8 levels of menus. I can't find anything on it. And I think maybe 1% of the features on a Sony camera get used on average. You agree with that, Tyler?
No, that's a good point.
I mean, it's insane. And it's so intimidating for people like Oprah, my wife, me, that you just don't wind up buying it. So the Flip was like, it's $199, anybody can use it. They had a big sale to Cisco, I believe. Second one, which was very interesting, I saw a couple years ago, was Slingbox. Slingbox was doing something that was sort of felt a little illegal, maybe a little dicey, that maybe a set-top box manufacturer, Time Warner or somebody could have made, should have made, but didn't. So again, zigging where everybody else was zagging. The Slingbox allowed you to plug into your DirecTV and send that signal to your laptop. DirecTV doesn't want you doing that. Cable companies don't want you doing that. Cable channels don't want you doing it. It's like a bad deal all around for them because if you are doing that, you're not buying another set-top box. They don't think big like maybe this is an additive thing or an opportunity. So again, both those examples, they zig with a zag. But then there was the OQO who was trying to do like a mini handheld computer, and they wiped out. It's hard to do hardware. It's not easy, and it takes a lot of cash, but less than it used to. So we're sort of in a new moment in time, I think, where it might be more possible to do these things. And so that's what you're thinking of doing as a hardware product?
I love consumer electronics, and I like to get into that.
Yeah,
definitely with a UI perspective, yeah.
So I think you have to come up with an idea that zigs where everybody zags. So do you have a specific space you're thinking about? MP3s? Are you thinking about keyboards? Are you thinking about mice? Are you thinking about, USB drives? What's your milieu, if I may?
Microcomputers are getting very cheap. You can probably have the internet. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
I was so nervous.
Don't be nervous. It's okay. It's just a podcast. It's not like you're calling into CNBC or something. Yeah.
Definitely.
So you like the little microcomputers and that kind of thing, and you're trying to...
Not microcomputers, but like any application you have on your computer, definitely think about pulling that out and making that a hardware device.
Yeah. This is listen, to show you how easy it is to do this, or how easier it's becoming. Even Mike Arrington is now getting into the hardware business. If Mike Arrington can do it, it makes it pretty. I mean, Mike Arrington's the least technical guy you'll ever meet. I mean, no, it's not true. He's my partner on the TechCrunch 50 conference, but he wants to make a tablet, which is basically he wants to make a hardware device that is Firefox or Chrome. He just wants to boot up Linux and start surfing the web when he's on a couch watching, whatever. What does he watch? Desperate Housewives. And so there's that kind of inspiration. So do you have an application you think people want a hardware footprint for instead?
Just I know there are plenty of Wi-Fi radios out there, but I've never seen one that does more focused on podcasts. They're all music and music services.
This is a good idea. I very much want to have the ability to, with my iPhone-like device, download podcasts in the background. And I don't see why I shouldn't be able to do this. I guess AT&T's network is so horrible that they don't want anybody doing anything, sucking down any data, because AT&T is the suck. But this would be a really cool device if you could be downloading. This is people have been talking about this device for a long time, which is a device specifically, I think, for recording a podcast, hitting save and uploading it, like the iPhone 3GS does for YouTube videos, doing it for podcasts, where you could plug in 2 microphones, put them on stands, record a podcast, level the noise, upload it to a podcasting service with 1 click. So if I could be doing interviews on the road, save it, type a title in, and upload it. It's a great idea. So I think you should look into that, both from the downloading the podcast side, but also from the making of the podcast side. So it's possible. And the way to do it now, it seems, is to do 100 units or 1,000 unit run and have people order the product in advance. And if you get to 500 orders at $50 a piece, then you do it. What is the name of that crowdsourcing website where everybody puts pledges towards building something out of New York? I forgot the name of this.
99 Design?
No, it's not 99 Design. That's a competition site. The one I'm talking about, somebody will know this in the chat room. Somebody type it into the chat room or somebody do research. It's a collaboration site where I can say, like, I want to do an opera. I want to do Romeo and Juliet set in Williamsburg in the 80s and donate $100. I need to get $2,000 to do this, and people donate, and it's like Donors Choose.
I'll have it in a minute.
But it's not Donors Choose, because Donors Choose is to get people the new classroom stuff. It's something else that's similar. God, nobody knows. How can nobody knows this thing? It would be on Silicon Alley Insider or something. Is it Kickstarter? Is that it? No, not Challenge Post. It's Kickstarter, I think. Kickstarter. Let's see. Kickstarter, I think. No. Kickstarter. Anyway, there is something like this. Do you know it?
No. I know the one you're talking of, though.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Spot.us?
Anyway, somebody will do this. We'll put it on the site. We'll talk about it. No, here it is. It is Kickstarter. I got it. Pull up my computer, please. Thank you. Fund ideas and endeavors. Kickstarter is a funding platform for artists, designers, filmmakers, musicians, journalists, inventors, and explorers. This sounds like it's for you, Stuart.
Yes.
So, Stuart, you can go to this one, or there's also Challenge Post, which, full disclosure, I just invested $25,000 in. It's one of my 10 angel investments I'm trying to do. I've done 2. You should put your challenge on Challenge Post that you want somebody to design, like come up with the perfect design for this, like the electronic design. You can make it open source, and tell them what you want the specs to be. You want to be able to record it has to be 2-channel podcasting. It has to have this kind of storage device, like an SD card maybe. What's this? Compact flash is probably the cheapest. It has to have removable batteries, and it has to have Wi-Fi and the ability to upload to this kind of a service. And somebody builds, you could probably say, I'll give $500 or I'll give $100, and if you put it on Challenge Post, I'll put $100 on. So challenge somebody to design it. What is that called when you make the design of the hardware device? A spec or something? I don't know what they call it, but
Prototype?
the prototype. Well, they're not going to build the prototype. They build sort of the spec. This is how to build the prototype.
Yeah.
But anyway, you should look at these collaboration sites, because it's a way to help you find friends who might be into this. And there's definitely people who are into this, sort of open source hardware thing. So good luck with it. Any other questions for us?
That's it, actually.
Awesome.
Thank you.
So we'll keep us informed.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
cheers,
Bye.
bye.